The UK is officially over.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
Welcome to the great Democratic Republic of Keir Starmer's Communist United Kingdom of Great Britain, where say we can't drive down the main road in fucking Darlington, can't get our fucking groceries delivered, can't park our car in half of our fucking houses. That's your council tax, hard at work, boys and girls.
The UK is the shittest and most depressing place to live. We have the highest crime rate out of all the countries in Europe and the highest tax rate. Serious crimes like burglaries and knife crime are at an all-time record high. Most of your money goes on taxes. You pay up to 45% income tax, then 20% VAT, then council tax, then road tax, inheritance tax, stamp duty when you buy a property. Bills keep going up. The NHS keeps getting worse. There's waiting lists of months now. Public services are non-existent. Everyone's miserable. Look at the state of the town centres. They're full of violent crime and crackheads. Free speech has been abolished. People are going to prison for social media posts. Everything takes years to get done. You'll have roadworks going on for years in your local town. The UK is truly broken. Luckily, I'm outside the system where I don't have a job to go to, and I'm financially free and locationally free as well. If you want to learn what I do for a living, then go to the bio, because I don't know how people are surviving on a normal job anymore and being tied down to the UK.
Great, so now the taxpayer has to pay reformed legal fees because Labour decided to call off elections unlawfully.
The UK is now the second most depressing country to live in officially. Taxes are at a post-war record high, up to 45% income tax on what you earn, then 20% VAT tax on what you spend. If you're a business, you have VAT, then 25% corporation tax, then business rates, then 15% national insurance. Then you've got council tax, road tax, car tax, stamp duty tax. There are 39 different taxes that you pay. The town centres are in ruin, they're run down, there's empty high streets and increasing homelessness. You get stabbed for a watch in London, and petty crime is now legal in the UK. The cost of living is soaring, and inflation has wiped out 35% of your money in the last 5 years alone. You work 3 days out of 5 for the government, and you pay £4,000 a year in government debt interest. Then when you finally pay off your house and you retire, you're looking at 40% inheritance tax. And this is just the beginning. The UK want to tax you even more, and they want a digital ID, and they want more control. There will be no cash soon whatsoever. You'll get imprisoned for your social media posts. You own less and less and less. You give away more and more and more. And people wonder why everyone's either leaving the UK or taking the streets to protest.
If you want to move to London, but it's too expensive and you don't know where to start, I can help. So initially when I wanted to move, I couldn't find anything that I could afford, for one. And two, even the ones that I could afford, there was no way for me to prove that I could afford it. And in general, I just didn't know where to start. So I looked at everything. I looked at every website. Spare Room is someone I think most of you would be familiar with, but Spare Room was a really good one. Because Spare Room was the doorway to this. I was looking at the cheapest options because I just wanted a foot in London, which would be my advice. Just look at a place in London. And then once you secure a place, once you're here, you're then open to more options, and you can look at better places because you're more familiar with the different areas in London. But initially, I moved to a place where I paid £340 per month, bills included, and it was really spacious. I had so much storage space. And you're gonna ask me, what's the catch? Well, the catch was, you live with an older person. Technically, you're supposed to offer 10 hours of support. The 10 hours of support I was supposed to give were really playing Scrabble and playing like cards together, watching films together, and just really hanging out with an elderly person that I lived with. She was really lovely. She was 90, and we actually made so many good memories together. I got quite lucky in the sense that those 10 hours of support, she did not need them. She didn't require them. And the only thing she actually needed was someone to sleep in the house at night. And if I were to go away somewhere, as long as I find someone to stay that night in my place, because she felt unsafe about sleeping alone, really. And I think that's what you might encounter quite often. So it's called 2 Generations. It's not the only scheme that's available, but it's the one that I've done myself, and I'm still in contact with them, and they always have loads of homes that they offer.
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that the United Kingdom has somehow managed to become, well, a bit of a cautionary tale. Now, I never thought I'd say this, but it's come to this. We're starting to look like one of those countries people used to joke about, only without the sunshine, the relaxed lifestyle, or the decent food. We've kept the rain and imported the chaos.
Rupert Lay said that places like Bradford, Luton, East London, Rochdale, Birmingham, Blackburn, Leicester and Bolton have been effectively colonised, and a lot of people agree with him. The argument is that over the past few decades, very high levels of immigration have rapidly changed the culture, demographics and identity of some towns and cities. In certain areas, people who grew up there now say they feel like strangers in their own neighbourhoods, with different languages, customs and communities becoming dominant. Supporters of Rupert Lowe's view say colonised describes how dramatic and fast that change has been, not in the old empire sense, with armies and foreign governments, but in the sense of the character of some places have been completely transformed within a single generation. They argue this isn't about individuals, but about scale. When migration happens faster than integration, communities can become divided and local identity can be lost. So from that perspective, Lowe's comments reflect a real concern shared by many people that parts of the UK have changed so quickly that the word colonised, while controversial, captures how dramatic that transformation feels.
Why is it that so many British people are now living in Thailand? Well, it's simply because the UK is finished. The UK is not a place that anyone really wants to be right now. With the way things are going on over there, it's not looking good, bruv. Now, when I was back in England for 4 weeks, there were migrants absolutely everywhere. They had them up in hotels. It was chaos. Now, they were popping up England flags everywhere as well, which I thought was quite good. Like, go on, son, fair play. But as long as you got the right visas and the money behind you, there's no reason why you can't live in Thailand. I know people that have been here for like 10 years plus, so don't listen to the waffle. You see it for yourself. You can do it. And the sad reality of it as well is a lot of people are actually quite jealous. They don't want to see you enjoy yourself, which is a shame really, but as long as you're happy, that's all that matters, bro. So thanks for watching. Double tap and repost. Peace.
This country is a fucking mess. I don't give a... if anyone wants to go out there and tell me left is good, right is good, I don't care. Like, I honestly don't care, yeah? Anybody who's politically switched on will know that there is absolutely not a single one of them that are for the people. The country's on its fucking knees. Get me out of the UK.
I don't understand how any country that's on the brink of not being able to serve its own people can decide to serve the world. I just don't get that.
Well, this is where we're delusional, because our own house isn't in order, and we spend our lives worrying about, what's happening everywhere else, including sending vast amounts of money overseas in overseas aid. I mean, the countries that a lot of these people are coming from, we're sending them aid. I mean, Pakistan, for instance, I think we send £130 million a year to Pakistan.
Why?
Just one example. You tell me. And a lot of the people are coming from Pakistan. So I think it's just the people in power. They get a kick, like latter-day emperors who used to travel around the world dishing out sort of cash. I think it gives them a lot of pleasure to think that they are these important people dishing out money we haven't got.
In the UK, Labour will soon directly tax your bank accounts via withholding tax, and there is nothing you can do about it. Every British citizen and resident will now be forced to give their insurance number to their banks, which will allow the HMRC to directly tax your bank accounts. But the worst part is that this policy even allows the tax authorities to tax your savings account. I mean, it's not enough to already tax your income, your spendings, your assets, your capital. Now they even want our savings. And so at this point, I really have to say that if you still live in the UK with at least some kind of wealth, it's your own fault, because as of today, you are still able to leave the UK without an exit tax, and I'm pretty sure that this will come in the near future as well.
The United Kingdom has been voted the second most miserable place in the entire world.
Okay, right, sign to the end of the road.
Get on, mate. Welcome to Birmingham, the second largest city in the UK. Some people love it, some people hate it. Let's try and make the most of it. Let's look at this. How long has that fridge been there? This place hasn't been cleaned up in over a decade. You're from here?
Yes, I am.
And how do you like Birmingham?
I love Birmingham. It's a nice city. Underrated. We don't shout about ourselves. We just go about our business.
Lovely, mate. It's like a car boot sale, but on the street.
There you go. Birmingham's version of the car boot sale.
Yeah, you choose what you want around here. Today, I've been joined by two American tourists that watch the videos, and they've come here to Birmingham. Guys, why the hell have you come here? Are you crazy?
Yes.
We've just found out the UK is voted the second most miserable country in the world. Tell me your opinion on this.
The people here have been great. The prices
Are miserable.
Yeah, especially for transport.
So guys, welcome to Birmingham.
Thank you.
Not bad, eh? Nice clean floors here around.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, mind your step, you don't want to step in anything.
Yeah.
But is this what you picture when you think of the UK?
No.
Not at all.
No?
Hello.
Oh, you are in.
So, was that you just knocking?
It was, yeah. I was just thinking, you know, the other week you were moaning about me going to work at 5 in the morning and my car making a noise. And...
Oh, please don't tell me you're still doing that.
Well, I just wonder if you can do me a favour. These cleaners you've got coming round late at night.
Excuse me?
Well, the last few days you've had cleaners coming round late at night.
No, we've had nobody here. I've been away on business for the last 4 days.
Well, your husband's been here.
Well, yeah, of course. He still has to work here.
Yeah, well, he's been having cleaners coming around about 10 o'clock at night. They've been keeping me up all night, literally banging against my bedroom wall.
No, that can't possibly be, because where your bedroom is would be right next to our bedroom, and there's certainly not been anyone in there.
There definitely has, because all night long, what I'm hearing is all these weird noises and like a constant thud, thud, thud. It's getting to a point where I don't know if it's maybe the hoover against the skirting boards or the bed hitting the wall, you know, I don't know what's going on. But
No, I can tell you that the house is in a worse state now than when I left, and I'm about to get some work done now, so there's definitely not been cleaners.
To be fair, with all the maids he's had coming in, because they've all been in maid outfits.
I beg your pardon?
They've all been maid outfits. The thing is, he seemed really flustered this morning when I left at 5 o'clock to go to work.
He is going to be. You wait till I get my hands on him.
But just ask him to keep noise down. Or share the number. I mean, I don't mind either way, but I'm assuming he's had a bit of fun. Anyway, hope you had a lovely trip away. You take care of yourself, all right?
I literally think as business owners in the UK, the government are just trying to take us under. My car has just got a nail in its shoe, so I took it to the tyre shop, and while I was there, I was talking to the young lad. He was saying that they turn over 10 grand a week, and you're just like, oh my God, that is amazing. And then he said with costs, they're left with about 500 quid. So to try and save money, they've reduced the size of their unit so that they don't have to pay so much business rates, just so that they can keep the business afloat. So they've handed some back to the landlord, they've had it re-rated by the council, but the council is still charging them the old rate. So the business owner has gone backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Still nothing changes. So in the end, he just said, I'm not paying this anymore. We don't own the unit. The unit is smaller. You have re-rated us. We do not owe you the old amount. And now he's stopped paying it. He's got a court letter. He's actually got to go to court about these rates that he hasn't paid because he no longer owns that size unit. The government want us to employ people and the government want us to thrive as businesses. But on the other hand, they're taking it all away from us with their incompetency, with their greed, with their absolute inability to do the basics. And on top of that, the cost of everything is so high that even successful businesses are going under. Even successful businesses are having to reduce their unit sizes just to cut costs that they can't afford. And I love the people that are out here being like, oh, you just don't want to pay taxes. That is not the case. What we cannot do is carry the weight of the country, be responsible for employment, and have the councils treating us like this, because they are taking us under. And it doesn't matter how successful the business is, if the government don't turn this around, we're all going to go. We're already seeing it in the high streets. We are already seeing it in hospitality. We are already seeing it in pubs. It's going to get wider unless the government sort their shit out.
I hate it when people don't believe what I say. And I think this is what's wrong with the UK systems. People don't trust these systems anymore, whether it's the police, whether it's healthcare, because you really have to convince people to believe you. And it shouldn't be like that at all. And I know today's situation isn't a life or death situation, but it just highlights the significant deteriorations of UK systems and the things you have to do to make yourself believed. So a couple of days ago, I went to the pharmacy to get my repeat prescription, and they told me that I had to request it through the GP. They did that on their computer system, and they told me to come back later in a couple of days' time. So that's what I did. However, today I got a text message from my doctors to say that they've denied my repeat prescription. Don't have a clue why. They said on the text message that I should go to the pharmacy and they will be able to sort it out for me. Okay, I went to the pharmacy today. I showed them the text over the counter and said, my GP has denied my repeat prescription. Can you sort it out? So they checked on their computer systems and they were like, well, you should have had enough boxes to last you until March. And in my head, I was like, well, I wouldn't be here if I had enough medication. So I said to them, I just have a couple of days of this medication left. Are you able to sort something out for me? And I think this is what really got me annoyed. It was their tone of voice. They specifically asked me to go home and look for it thoroughly. So I told them, I'm going to come back in 10 minutes. And as I was walking out to the door, they were like, you need to go home and have a thorough look. So what did I do? Go home, came back in about 10-15 minutes and said to the person over the counter, I was like, I went home, couldn't find it. I'm sorry. I don't know where the boxes have gone that you gave me before, but I clearly don't have them now. I said to them, I'm in the middle of moving house. Everything's in boxes, so it's probably in one of the boxes. Anyway, they happened to give me the medication, but I was like, what in the world is this? Why is it so difficult for me to have asked you? This could have been so easy to sort out. Why did I have to go from pharmacy to GP to pharmacy, for the pharmacy to tell me to go all the way back home to double check, for me to go back to the pharmacy again? It just doesn't make sense.
I tell you what we need to do about the country at the minute, with all these protests and riots going on. It's not the immigrants. It's not the immigrants that's the problem. I'll tell you who is, shall I? I'll tell you who is. It's not the Romanians. It's not the Germans. It's not the Jews. It's not the Dutch. It's not the Muslims. I tell you, the biggest drain on our economy, what's dragging society down, what's destroying us, an invisible force that we've not yet thought of or even encountered. It's the fatties. It's fat people. That's who we need to be taking down, the fatties. I mean, think about it, how slow they are. I mean, have you ever tried to get past two fat people on the pavement? It's impossible. I was 10 minutes late today because of two fatties taking up the whole pavement. Couldn't squeeze past them. Excuse me, please, death. Too many Doritos in their ears. I never really tried to be, and they're taking all our jobs. Why is a woman that's 27 stone taking, how have they got a job? Have you ever tried to get served in Starbucks by a fatty? I tried it this morning. Excuse me, love, can I have a black Americana, please? Strong and black like me men, not a laugh. She waddled off. 20 minutes later, I said, forget it, love, forget it, day's over. I'll try again tomorrow. You could hardly move. Who's hiring these people? What are they thinking when they turn up for an interview? Hiya, love, come in, sit down. Hang on, chair's too small, maybe just stay standing. What's your name? Sandra. All right, Sandra, and how old are you? 27. You're 27? No, I thought you said how many stone am I? I'm 19. I see, Sandra, and what are your hobbies and interests? No, what? Your hobbies and interests, Sandra. What do you like to do in your spare time? Watch YouTube videos and eat as much chocolate and pizza as I can before I fall asleep in my work clothes. And what are your strengths and weaknesses, Sandra? Strengths? I can eat 14 packets of chocolate up in an hour. And how about weaknesses? I can't wipe my own arse. I tell you what, Sandra, you're just what we're looking for. There's a XXL shirt in the filing cabinet there. Grab it and start today. Really? Who are hiring these people? Who are hiring these people? And I tell you what, there'll be no waiting list on the NHS if we round up all the fatties. We'd all be in and out in an hour. I'll tell you what we need to do. Muslims, immigrants, people of ethnic minorities, and the whites, the EDL, we all need to combine together. We need to unite and fight the fatties. That's what we need to do. Unite and fight the fatties. Round them all up. Drag them off, kicking and screaming. We'll need chains and pickup trucks. They can put up a fight when they want to, these fatties. I mean, I was one myself. We need to drag them off, not to a concentration camp, but to a fitness camp. And they only come back when they're a reasonable BMI. So join me and fight the fatties. Fight the fatties. If you're a fatty, you're fucked. Dada.
Do you know what the phrase suicidal empathy means? I think it was first coined by the social media sensation professor and great thinker Gad Saad. Suicidal empathy. So suicidal empathy means this. Empathy is the showing of compassion to, understanding to, and forgiveness to people for things that they have done or are doing, or the situation that they find themselves in. Suicidal empathy means that you show so much empathy to people or to groups that it actually ends up leading to your own demise. It brings you down. It causes you massive issues. And we're seeing it more and more and more, not just in the UK, but across the Western world. The last couple of days have given the perfect example of this. Do you remember a guy called Valdo Calocane? He was the guy back in the summer of 2023 who went on a rampage in Nottingham and stabbed and killed 3 people, 2 young students and then a community worker. It came to light at the time, and the inquiry, which has started this week, a judge-led inquiry, has discovered that he had been sectioned multiple times previously. Psychiatrists had found him to be a very dangerous man. One of the psychiatrists who examined him actually went, he's so dangerous, he may well end up going on to kill someone. But they let him out every single time. They let him wander the streets every single time. Why did they let him wander the streets? Because he was black. I'm not kidding. They basically said, the various workers on his cases said, there is an over-representation of young black men being detained, and therefore we don't think it's appropriate to keep him in prison or to keep him under lock and key. And so they just let him wander the streets. And the net result of that was that he stabbed and killed 3 entirely innocent people. Suicidal empathy. Look at the grooming gang scandals and the inquiry led by Rupert Lowe over the course of the last few weeks. What's come to light in that? Well, what's come to light is not only were certain officials and authorities and bodies complicit in and even taking part in, but in many cases, they allowed these horrific crimes to be perpetrated on these girls because they didn't want to be seen as being racist. They didn't want to harm community relations. They didn't want to be seen or be labelled as being bigoted or the R word. And so they just allowed these crimes to take place. They just allowed these awful situations to develop. They allowed these girls basically to be thrown to the wolves for fear of what they might be labelled, for fear of what they might be called. Again, suicidal empathy. And now in the UK, we've got tens of thousands of completely undocumented, unknown men being put up in hotels and other forms of accommodation across the country at our expense, with pretty much zero vetting done on them. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they came from. We don't know what their tendencies and proclivities are. We don't know whether they're dangerous or not. And as it turns out, lots of them are very dangerous. We've seen lots of horrific sexual assaults and rapes. We've seen murders. We've seen attacks. We've seen thefts, all committed by these men. Why? Because we're showing them empathy, because we're allowing them into the country, because we're not placing them under lock and key. We're letting them run the streets freely. Again, a prime example of suicidal empathy. People are so empathetic to these people that they're leading to their own demise. This country is so empathetic to people that it's leading to their own demise. And largely speaking, it's for fear of being labelled. It's for fear of being called a racist or a bigot or a xenophobe or uncaring. Well, quite frankly, And this is a message to all of the authorities out there, whether it's the government, whether it's local authorities and local councils, whether it's social services, whether it's police, whether it's judges, whether it's courts. The people don't care anymore. I personally couldn't care less. Call me any name you want. Racist, bigot, xenophobe, fascist, Nazi, couldn't care less. Water off a duck's back. It doesn't mean anything anymore. What means something to the people of this country is the safety and security of our citizens, the safety and security of our daughters, our wives, our mothers, our grandmothers. That overrides anything you can call us. We're done with empathy. We're done with caring. We're done with being nice to people that don't deserve it. Lock them up, or better still, get rid of them. We don't want to be empathetic towards them anymore. We just don't. We're not interested. We couldn't care less. And you may think, oh, this is just one of those horrible far-right people saying this. This is mainstream opinion now. Everyone I talk to feels exactly the same. We're done with it. We're done with suicidal empathy. We're done with empathy, full stop. What we want is a country we can live in. What we want is a country we can recognise. What we want is safety on the streets. What we want are people that probably shouldn't be here in the first place, not being able to attack us, not being able to rob our possessions, not being able to follow and hound and hassle schoolgirls and women, not being able to commit horrific crimes and kill people when they shouldn't be here at all. Suicidal empathy needs to come to an end. Empathy needs to come to an end.
It was recently revealed Plymouth's one of the most dangerous places to live in the southwest. It was revealed Plymouth city centre has more weapons charges than almost anywhere else in the country, and there's an overwhelming homeless and substance abuse crisis taking place here. I didn't realise quite how much of a significant problem it clearly is for the city of Plymouth. In fact, just as I say that, there's another tent. You can see the tent just behind me there. Literally, just as I was saying that, I walked past another tent. There you go, that's the front entrance to that camp we just come across. Walking past. See someone's chair set out. It's the tent there. It's another tent. That's not even a proper tent, that's like a beach shelter, that one. My goodness, I wouldn't fancy staying in that overnight during the winter months. These poor folk, absolutely awful. And it's just right next to a main sitting area. See the folk walking past there, and the camp's just in the bushes there. Another 30 seconds on from the last homeless encampment, there's an even larger one just on the left hand side of the main road going into the city centre. You can see one tent just there, and then you've got another just over here, and this is literally on the main road. Yeah. So I've just been joined here by one of the homeless folk here on the main roundabout coming into Plymouth. You've just told me you've been here for months.
I have, yeah, 2 months.
Really?
2 months, yeah.
Thousands of people must drive past you every single day.
They do. Yeah, the council are working down in that bridge, but the council do see it, but they turn a blind eye.
There you go. Really, mate. You see the tent there.
But you know,
as you can see, it's absolutely spotless. There's no rubbish about.
People just go about their own business, you know.
Hanging his t-shirts out to dry as well.
People like, I'm on here.
And there's his tent.
Brings a bacon.
He's been here for months.
You know,
I brings a boy a coffee and a bacon roll every morning because I don't see anyone else helping the homeless.
Bless you, mate.
So he said it was freezing last night, and I've got a room along there, and I said as long as I can get you off the ground, you'd be a lot warmer. So I went and got him a blow-up mattress. Yeah. I'm a recovering addict myself. I've been clean 3 years.
Get on.
And this lad, he's an addict himself.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do when you're living on the streets and you've got nothing?
It's a vicious circle, boss.
It is. If people had a little bit of fucking just a hand up in life and just a roof over their head, it would give such a people such a chance.
Yeah.
Fair play to you as well, mate.
Right. Thank you, mate. You can see the main road just behind me. Don't tell me a council member doesn't drive past this nearly every day and sees this. To see our people living like this in these conditions is a disgrace, and that's just my opinion. So I've now arrived in Central Park here in Plymouth city centre, reportedly home to a number of homeless encampments. Let's have a wander through and see what we find. Instantly, within a minute of being inside the park, I've come across my first homeless encampment. Let's take a look. Underneath the tree, taking shelter, somebody's tent there. Police car's just gone racing by with the sirens on. There seems to be another encampment just a few minutes walk away from the original one we just come across. Big blue 3-man tent. This one does seem to be in slightly better nick than the last one. can see that they've got a pile ready for a fire later on. And there's the tent. And there's the sleeping bag hanging in the tree drying out. With winter fast approaching, this is definitely a precarious situation to be in. I mean, the temperatures are going to soon drop. But is there anywhere for the homeless folk within Plymouth to actually go? That's the question. It seems the reports about Central Park here in Plymouth were correct. Within literally 5 minutes of walking around, come across 2 homeless encampments. But there's also numerous spots within the park that show obvious signs of substance abuse, paraphernalia and whatnot lying about on the floor. So it certainly seems the reports about the substance crisis here in Plymouth is correct as well. Honestly, I can't quite believe the amount of homeless encampments that I've come across today. This documentary was not really supposed to be focused on that. However, the amounts that I've seen, it's difficult not to bring it up, isn't it? Well, it's pretty clear to see there's an obvious housing crisis ongoing here in Plymouth, and it's not really surprising because over the last 5 years the amount of social housing has dropped in Plymouth by 38%. That's a significant decrease in the amount of affordable and social homes available. Plymouth unfortunately has the highest numbers of homelessness in the region. Last year it was reported that 880 people were homeless in Plymouth, with 390 of those being children. Unfortunately, many of those children are languishing in temporary accommodation or B&Bs, things like that. Another massive abandoned building here, the Money Centre. Next to it looks like Mambo's nightclub, once upon a time.
There's a massive thing today on the news and on Good Morning Britain saying there's a massive problem with obviously litter in this country and people flighting it, and they don't know why, and that needs to be done. We're the worst in Europe, one of the worst in the world. I can tell you why, you know, and I'll give it for free. I don't need to be paid for it. It's because local councils and the government alike makes everything so fucking hard to do in this country. I run a little garden and landscaping company. We can't just turn up and dump the waste. Oh no. Firstly, I have to pay to have a waste carrier's license. You have a higher and a lower tier. That costs a fortune. You have to renew it every 3 years. That's a pain in the arse to do. You now can't then, once you've paid that and you've paid to have the privilege of taking people's waste away from their site, even if it's just like garden waste like what we do, you can't just turn up to the local tip. Oh no. That's sacrilege. You can't be doing that and putting too much pressure on the guys at the tip. You have to go on an online booking system, which is a pain in the arse and it crashes all the time, and you've got to get there within like 10 minutes beforehand. But if you're late, fuck it, you're running the risk of them turning you away. When you do go there now, they don't just charge you, 20, 30 quid. Oh no, they now charge you a fucking fortune. I have to pay £150 to dump green waste from I've got a small Mercedes Vito van. I'm in it now. It's £150. Bearing in mind, that's not an empty cab either. That's I've got tools in there, so it's not like just one massive space. But that's £150. But on top of that, you then got to allow for your 1 or 2 hours travelling there and back, getting stuck in traffic. So that's then 2 people's wages you've got to add on top of that waste. Then you've got to add fuel on top of that waste as well. So before you know it, you're charging the customer more money. And obviously, they don't care or understand that you're 150 quid you got to pay. You then got to pay for 2 people's wages. That's nearly £100 on top of that. Then your fuel. So that costs just as much or more to get a skip or similar to that, and that's not the boys who work at the tip. Them poor fuckers, they get hell and all shit from customers who are not like me and understand, and they give them absolute crap. It's not coming from the boys who work at the tip. This is coming from the stupid people in the council who have these bright ideas. Let's charge people to dump their waste regardless of what it is. If they have more than one fucking flat pack bit of furniture or bit of plasterboard, we'll charge them for everything. You can dump one kitchen cupboard for free, but you'll be charged £5 or £10 per cupboard. You can only do so much, and that's how they go. That's crazy. But bear in mind, these places, these local council dumps now, they're all run by private companies. They then sell all the rubble to like all the builders, like Persimmon's Homes, for their like crushed concrete. They sell all that. They use all the green waste that breaks down. They then resell that as like compost. The wood, they sell that. That's recycled. Obviously, that's then made into other bits of furniture. The metal they make a fortune on, so that's such a big business, but they make it so hard for people to get rid of the waste, the local dump where it should be. You know what, there's some right scummers around. So what do? You'll get Joe Blogs go on Facebook, they'll advertise that they get rid of waste. They'll come and take your waste, but what they'll do, they just go dump it in the back of a countryside somewhere. They don't give a fuck. So the council are so short-sighted, what they'll do, that person's then made their money, they dump it, the council, instead of letting people dump for free, they'll quite happily let people dump. I just saw a woman hit someone's car with her door. Anyway, they'll let people dump stuff. They'd have to then pay for 2 guys to go out in a Luton van to pick up all the fucking waste. That's just like backward thinking. But this is the local councils. I'm going to talk for Great Yarmouth Council, who are absolute bollocks. This is why I voted for my reform and Rupert Lowe, because obviously it just makes sense. If you let people dump for free, you won't get the waste getting dumped in, you know, in the back roads and the country roads. If you're going to make people pay a fortune, make them go online to dump, and just make it so hard for people to do. Most people who haven't got, you know, who aren't decent and who can't be bothered with things, they'll just dump it because fuck it, you'll have to go pick up anyway. And that is the problem. That is why there's so much rubbish around, because the councils try and make as much money as possible from people. That is the long and short of it. Fucking, and that is how it is, and they piss me off.
Can we just grab those cans? Sorry? We're just going to grab those cans. They're in the bin anyway, if that's all right. Oh. There we go. Loads of cans. Oh, 30th of the November 25. Yeah, you can take all of them.
Yeah, try carrying them.
They'll be good for tomorrow. Yeah. Because we're donating loads. Oh, we won't
pop them on top of here.
Pop them on top of there.
Well, we'll carry as much as you can because they're
look at all of that. They threw them away because a few popped.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. First thing we get is one of them.
Yeah. There's a wire there.
There's a wire. You can start opening these bags.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that have got loads of stuff in.
Yeah,
so,
look at that. iPad cover.
iPad. Look at this, DVDs.
Oh my god.
Got DVDs here.
Loads. And DVD as well. Oh,
look at that.
Yeah. That's good.
DVDs. This is a good bin.
Oh, look at this controller. Export.
Oh, look at that, Mum. You got that as well. Oh. Look at that.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Good bin. A good one.
You might find the phone.
Yeah. What's another DVD? Oh, what's this one?
Oh, that's a game as well, Mum. Look at that.
Pretended, yes.
Let's see if it's in there. It's in there. Look at that.
Wow. Wow. There's loads. For anything? That's for an that's an Apple Mac.
Oh yeah, it is an Apple Mac charger.
Mac charger. Put that there.
Look at that, Mum. You got an old Sega. That's old. Look at that, Sega Mega Drive. This is a brilliant bin.
Yeah.
Got full of gadgets and everything. Absolutely full of gadgets. Oh, look at that. What is that in there, Mum?
Wow.
Wow, that's a lovely little case.
Nice little case, isn't it?
Loads of watches. Maybe one's in there. You never know.
There's a watch strap.
There's a watch strap.
Yeah, those are loads.
Oh wow.
Will that fit your iPad? Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it anyway.
Take the iPad. Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, could be in there. Look, I've got another iPad wallet.
Oh. Wow.
Look at this.
Oh, look, there's loads of cases.
Whoa.
There's 3.
Loads of cases. That is insane. You could actually find an iPad as well.
Might do. Check this bin. What's that?
Everything costs more. Everything works less. And somehow we're told this is all perfectly normal. Back in my day, if things started going wrong, people expected answers. Now you get a statement, a slogan, and a bill. Usually a very large bill. You try to do the right thing, work hard, save a bit, plan ahead, and it feels like the system's quietly working against you. Meanwhile, you look around and think, how has it come to this? Roads full of potholes, services stretched, shops cutting corners, and everyone just a little bit more fed up than they were last year. That's the real change, you see. Not just the money. It's the mood. We used to complain for sport. Now it feels like a survival skill. And I do find it ironic. We used to look at other places and think, blimey, bit of a mess over there. Now people are looking at us and thinking, what happened to them? And here's the dark joke. If we are heading that way, we've done it in the most British fashion possible. No dramatic collapse, no grand moment, just a slow, polite decline, with everyone queuing nicely while things get worse. Sorry, are you in line for rising prices or falling standards? Ah, yes, both. Same queue. People are angry, of course they are. They can feel it, that things aren't quite right. And when people feel that way long enough, they start asking bigger questions. Because deep down, most people don't expect perfection. They just expect things to make sense. And at the moment, very little does. Still, mustn't grumble. Though between you and me, that's about all that's left. Cheerio, and I will see you all in the next video.